Modern life wouldn't exist without these inventions, and a surprising number of them come from one place, Germany. We're talking about things that completely changed how we move, how we get information or music, how we stay alive, and even how we grow food. Some of these you use every single day without ever thinking about where they came from. So let's take a look at how Germany helped build the modern world. Number 1, the automobile. Before this, cars didn't exist. I mean that literally. No highways, no traffic, no road trips, no I'll just drive over there. Because before the late 1800s, if you wanted to get somewhere, you walked, or rode a horse, or maybe took a train. Then came Carl Benz. In 1885, he created what's widely considered the first practical automobile. Now, at the time, people didn't even really know what to make of it. It looked strange, it was loud, unreliable, and honestly, a bit ridiculous. But here's the part I love. The first real long-distance journey wasn't even done by Carl Benz. It was his wife, Bertha. Without telling him, she took the car on a trip over 100 kilometers to prove that it actually worked. Along the way, she had to invent things like brake linings and even stopped at a pharmacy to get fuel, essentially creating the first gas station. It wasn't gasoline. That trip proved the automobile wasn't just a curiosity, it was the future. And today, billions of cars on the road, all because of that first step. By the way, as a teenager, I remembered I loved to drive. Even learning to drive on ice in a field, doing donuts and learning to control fishtailing. It was great. Number 2, the printing press. This one changed everything, quietly. Before the printing press, things had to be copied by hand, which meant they were rare, expensive, and knowledge was basically locked away. Then came Johannes Gutenberg. Around 1440, he developed the movable type printing press. Suddenly, you could produce books quickly, consistently, and at scale. Ideas could spread, knowledge could spread, literacy exploded. This wasn't just about books. This was the foundation for education, science, journalism, everything that relies on information being shared. Without this, we don't get the Renaissance, the scientific revolution, or honestly, the modern world, one of the most important inventions in history. Interestingly, versions of printing existed in China centuries earlier, including wood block printing on paper in the 7th century, and even movable type using ceramics in the 11th century. But Gutenberg's design made it scalable. Number 3, the Haber-Bosch process. This might be the most important one you've never heard of, because this process feeds half the world. In the early 1900s, scientists were facing a massive problem. How do you produce enough food for a growing population? Plants need nitrogen to grow, but most of the nitrogen on Earth is in the air, and plants can't use it. Enter Fritz Haber. He figured out how to take nitrogen from the air and convert it into ammonia. Later, Carl Bosch scaled it up for industrial use. This allowed the mass production of fertilizer, and suddenly crop yields skyrocketed. Billions of people today are alive because of this process. But here's the twist. The same chemistry was also used for explosives, and the same man, Haber, helped develop chemical weapons used in World War I and later, and his own wife couldn't live with it. So this invention sits in a strange place. It helped feed the world, and it also made war more devastating. Number 4, rocket technology. This is where things get complicated, because modern rocketry has its roots in World War II, the V-2 rocket, developed by Wernher von Braun and his team. And yes, this technology came out of wartime Germany, using forced labor. It was the first long-range guided ballistic missile, but more importantly, it was the first object to reach the edge of space. After the war, many of those German scientists were taken to the United States and the Soviet Union, and they became the foundation of the space race. Von Braun himself went on to help develop the Saturn V rocket, the one that took humans to the moon. So when you think about space travel, there's a direct line from those early rockets to everything we're doing in space today. By the way, von Braun famously remarked, On news of the V2 successfully hitting London, the rocket worked perfectly, except for landing on the wrong planet. And even though he helped get humanity to the moon, he had always hoped to get to Mars. Number 5, the jet engine. Before jet engines, flying was slow. Planes used propellers. They worked, but they had limits. Then came the jet engine. In the 1930s and 40s, German engineer Hans von Ohain developed one of the first operational jet engines. Instead of propellers, it used fast-moving exhausts to generate thrust. And Germany even made the first operational jet fighter during World War II, though it wasn't ready to be used effectively. The result? Much higher speeds and more efficient long-distance travel. Today, almost every commercial airplane you see uses jet engines, and global travel as we know it depends on that breakthrough. It made the world a much smaller place. Number 6, MP3, a digital audio revolution. This one is closer to home for a lot of us because it changed how we listen to music forever. Before digital compression, audio files were huge. Not practical for storage, not practical for sharing. Then came the MP3 format, developed by a team in Germany in the late 20th century. It allowed audio to be compressed dramatically, up to 10 times smaller, while still sounding good, and that changed everything. Suddenly, music could be stored digitally, shared online, carried in your pocket, from MP3 players to iPods to streaming today. This was the foundation of modern music consumption. And of course, this also led to music being shared, sometimes legally, sometimes not. Remember Napster? Number 7, aspirin. Simple, ubiquitous, everywhere. Aspirin, or ASA, acetyl salicylic acid, that's a mouthful, eh? is one of the most widely used medicines in the world. Developed by scientists at Bayer in the late 1800s. It was one of the first drugs to be produced in a standardized and reliable way. And it works as a pain reliever, a fever reducer, an anti-inflammatory. It's even used to reduce the risk of heart attacks and strokes, as it thins the blood by inhibiting blood clots. Today, millions of people take it daily, sometimes without even thinking about it. But it represents a major step in modern medicine. Number 8, X-rays. This one still feels like science fiction. Being able to see inside the human body without surgery. In 1895, Wilhelm Rontgen discovered X-rays. And this is cool. The first X-ray image ever taken was of his wife's hand. It changed medicine instantly. Doctors could now diagnose fractures, detect diseases, and see internal structures without cutting anything open. It's hard to overstate how important that is. Even today, X-rays are one of the most common medical tools used worldwide. How often do you get an X-ray? So, when you look at the modern world, from transportation to sharing knowledge or music to medicine to feeding the world, Germany played a huge role in building it. And this list, it's just a glimpse. There are countless other innovations, discoveries, and ideas that shape the world we live in today. So the next time you drive somewhere, take a flight, listen to music, or even take a simple pill, you might be using something that started right here. Which one of these surprised you the most? And what other country would you like to learn more about? Let me know in the comments. And if you like this video, please like and subscribe to my channel. And I'll see you in the next one.